Today on Open Minds UFO Report, has Phoenix been visited by UFOs for decades? An Australian witness videotapes a triangle UFO, and now you can turn your computer into a UFO detector. Your Open Minds UFO Report starts now. Hello and welcome to the Open Minds UFO Report. My name is Alejandro Rojas. The Phoenix Lights is the name given to a mass UFO sighting in the Phoenix, Arizona area on March 13, 1997. However, author and UFO researcher Linda Zimmerman has discovered that the Phoenix Lights may have visited much earlier, 88 years earlier. According to similar articles in the March 10, 1909 edition of the Arizona Republican and the March 18th edition of the Bisbee Daily Review, strange lights were seen over Camelback Mountain by Phoenix residents on March 9th. The light was described as being about the size of a 10-cent piece held at arm's length, and it swayed to and fro and then remained stationary. It was too high in the heavens to be the light from a fire on Camelback or one of the other peaks, the newspaper reported. The light created quite a stir throughout the community, and the time it first appeared and the duration of the sighting were carefully recorded as 14 minutes of 8 and blazed up for about 6 minutes. Many varied theories were evoked to try to explain this peculiar light, and they ranged from bad to worse. One of the oldest inhabitants gave his opinion that the ball of fire held suspended between heaven and earth was a meteor or an asteroid that had become entangled, as it were, in the Earth's atmosphere, very much the same as a fly becomes enmeshed in the strands of a cobweb. Another bizarre explanation described in the articles read, "The Star of Bethlehem theory had its supporters, but others argued that Bethlehem was not in that direction and that the star, when it appeared, would not be seen perching on the top of Camelback." The Republican article offered more details and another wild theory. Others of the younger generation were of the opinion that it was the lantern of some marooned aeronaut who had anchored his skyboat to a cactus on account of the high wind. The attention of the police was called to the phenomenon, and the entire force climbed to the top of the city hall. The light was plainly visible, but none of the learned ones could explain satisfactorily its presence. While no explanation could be found for this mass sighting, Zimmerman found strange lights were reported in the nearby White Mountains a few months later. The Bisbee Daily Review ran a short piece on September 7, 1909, describing a strange light in the western sky that had the habit of appearing about 7 p.m. After that, it drifts slowly away till it finally drops behind the White Tank Mountains. The strange light has been doing this every night for the past week. The Arizona Republican ran a similar article, but pointed out that Venus was a prominent feature in the western sky during this time, so this mystery was solved. While the September sightings were resolved, another incident in April of 1911 defied explanation as a bright light appeared beneath the clouds for 30 minutes. In the April 16th edition of the Arizona Republican, the following appeared: "A strange light. Many persons last night, shortly before 9 o'clock and until sometime after, saw a curious light in the northwestern sky moving in that direction towards the horizon. It was in view about half an hour. The light was a bright one and seemed to move about like a searchlight. The only suggestion offered was that it was a dirigible balloon. A huge meteor at an immense distance would have apparently moved as slowly, but the light could not have been a meteor, for that part of the sky was obscured by light clouds at a great distance. The moving light was plainly this side of them." On November 15, 1918, the Arizona Republican featured an article with this headline, "Strange Searchlight Illumes Country, Mystifies Credulous." The article described a strange searchlight of great power and penetration which lighted the country east of Phoenix on Wednesday night. So strong were the rays of this strange light that they were thrown into windows of houses more than a mile away with such intensity that persons were enabled to read by the light. At the same time, the electric lights were out in Phoenix and the street railway service was interrupted. The official explanation for this blackout and the powerful searchlight with which people could read over a mile away was that one of the wires of the high-power transmission line in the Wilson district was burned in two, and the current was made to feed a powerful improvised searchlight. In light of these discoveries, Zimmerman suggests we may need to push back the timeline of the first appearance of the Phoenix Lights from 1997 to at least 1909 and continue the search for other such cases. A witness in Melbourne, Australia reported watching and videotaping a triangle-shaped UFO with circular colored lights, according to testimony submitted to the Mutual UFO Network known as MUFON. The witness stepped outside for a cigarette at 8:20 p.m. on July 15, 2014, when he says a craft of unknown origin was seen. It was emitting lots of different colors and was hovering in one spot, the witness stated. The thing that made me notice it is that I've never seen such displays of color and hovering movements of this object in other airborne craft, such as planes and helicopters. The witness watched the object for more than an hour. I observed it for a long time. It would hover in one spot, blinking different colored light patterns, and then it would move straight down, sometimes sideways in a rapid motion, or slowly at other times. The witness decided to try and photograph the object. I kept trying to take photos of it on my iPhone, which wasn't giving me very good results. I went inside the house to get my partner to come outside to show her this object. She got her Nikon camera with a zoom lens and did her best to get the camera to focus on this object, which was proving difficult. She managed to take a few photos that came out really well, which showed a triangular-shaped object with lights along the edge. It was not possible to judge the shape of the craft with the naked eye. I also tried to take video footage on my iPhone. It was difficult to hold the phone perfectly still, and I ended up resting my arm on a table in order to hold the phone as still as possible. I also tried to include the clothesline as a reference point and to be able to judge the object's movements. The object then began to move away. After observing it for some 80 minutes, the object slowly moved lower and lower and away from my vantage point until I could no longer see it over the trees. It was difficult for me to tell whether it landed somewhere or just disappeared over the horizon. During the sighting, I was puzzled and kept trying to imagine what it could possibly be, as I had never seen anything resembling what I observed. Justin Busuttil investigated for MUFON International and closed the case as an unknown. The witness has provided numerous photographs and video footage of a triangle-shaped object illuminated by colored circular lights which changed color over Glen Huntley, Victoria, Busuttil stated in his report. The witness was in his backyard at the time of the event, so he could smoke a cigarette. The object was also witnessed by the witness's partner, who took a number of the photographs provided. The MUFON report also included photo analysis. Analysis of the photographs provided shows the object as being triangular in shape and illuminated by a number of circular lights that change colors, red, green, blue. The object does not resemble any known commercial aircraft or any conventional military aircraft. It is difficult to record single points of lights in the night sky, and without a tripod, there was most likely some motion blur that has distorted the still images from the video. However, researchers have pointed out that the lights in these images are consistently triangular in shape. Some have suggested that the lights could be a drone. Mark D'Antonio, MUFON's photo and video analyst, has suggested it could also be a kite with LED lights on it. Kites with bright LED lights have been mistaken for UFOs in the past. You can let us know what you think in the comments section below. New open source software will let anyone turn their computer into a hands-free UFO monitor that can intelligently pick out mundane objects versus flying objects that are more mysterious. The software is totally free, and a video on the website walks users through installing and configuring the software, allowing them to start their high-tech UFO hunting in no time. The software was created by Mark Lakem, a software developer in the UK. I work as a software developer nowadays, and one day I just thought that there has to be a better way to study this UFO phenomenon using modern technology. So I created this algorithm that detects and records videos of possible UFOs using a webcam that is pointed in the sky, Lakem told Open Minds TV via email. The software has been available for a while, but I only made it open source and also created the platform UFOID.net. I realized that recording UFOs is just one part, and there has to be a way to analyze the captured video as a community. The software works by using your computer's webcam. It will monitor the sky the webcam is pointed at for movement and record that movement. The software allows the user to choose what part of the screen to monitor. So if there are trees in the shot, those can be ignored by the monitoring software. The program is also smart enough to spot mundane objects. It can recognize birds and other objects, then automatically delete those videos so they don't take up space on your hard drive. If the program captures a video of a bird or an airplane that it did not recognize, the user can tag the video, allowing the software to learn and not make that same mistake in the future. In this way, the software will become better at weeding out mundane objects as time goes on. As for the unidentifiable videos, the software lets users submit the interesting UFO videos to the UFO Detector community, allowing everyone to take a look and then the community to analyze the videos as a group. Users have already captured a number of interesting videos, including a cool shot of a meteorite. According to Lakem, it was important for him to provide the software for free and to make it open sourced. Open source means he allows anyone to download the code for the software and make improvements and/or their own version. I work full-time and there is just so much I can do developing the software in my free time. I am hoping to attract some smart developers who can help in improving the software, says Lakem. This includes making versions of the software that work for Linux and Apple operating systems. Currently, the software only works on Windows. When it comes to UFO hunting, often skeptics make the observation that with the increase of cell phones equipped with cameras, why have there not been more and better UFO videos? Lakem argues that by the time you get your phone out, the UFO is gone. He points to videos that his software has captured as evidence of this. They often only last a few seconds. The ease of installation and configuration and the sophistication of the software make this a very exciting program that will likely increase the amount of interesting and potentially unexplainable videos. That's your Open Minds UFO report for today. You can find these stories and more at openminds.tv. We post fresh UFO news daily. You can also follow us on Twitter at Open Minds TV, and you can find us on Facebook. The 25th International UFO Congress was a great success, and DVDs of the lectures can be purchased at our online store. They are also being posted on our video portal, an online streaming service. For one low price, you can view an archive of lectures from past UFO Congress events, and more videos are being added daily. Our store and our video portal can be found at openminds.tv. Let us know if you enjoyed today's episode by liking the episode on YouTube and leaving us your comments in the section below. You can also download our podcast, Open Minds UFO Radio, on iTunes or at openminds.tv/radio. Thanks again for joining us today. For openminds.tv, I'm Alejandro Rojas.